All right, it's time for a Wilfork Wednesday. We got Vince Wilfork in the house with us today because he's here this week going into the Patriots Hall of Fame. And that ceremony, by the way, 4 o'clock on Saturday. It's at the Patriots Hall of Fame, and it's free and open to the public. So going to be a ton of people there. What does this honor mean to you?
You know, playing the game, I never thought about being in the position I'm in now. You know, everybody used to always talk about my career, what I played, but I was one of those guys. I'm like, you know, I play football because I love it. But now, retired and sitting back and understanding the role I played in a lot of guys' lives and, you know, with the organization and my career looking back at it, it's an honor. You know, it's an honor. It took a lot to get to where I got to, you know, and it made it, you know, the fans made it a lot easier because the support and just what we had, you know, as a New England base, just not the Patriots, but being in Boston with all the support around the city from other sports and other organizations within those sports. It was amazing. So I'm very honored and thrilled to be sitting here today with this weekend coming up.
And we're going to talk much more about this weekend coming up in just a bit. I do want to get back to what we saw this past weekend with this Patriots team. You know, they got the win over the Steelers. What did you like most about getting that win in Pittsburgh?
It was a grind. You know, you're coming from a division loss down in Miami, and now you're back on the road, right, against a great opponent in Pittsburgh, you know, one of our rivals. I mean, every year is one of those things when we play each other, it's tough. And to go on the road down, you know, 0-1 to start the season, now you're back on the road trying to fix things. To go there and grind it out against a good team like that, and be physical, run the ball, make some plays. And you could tell the guys played with a lot more energy, you know, they with a sense of urgency, you know. So it won't be perfect, but you just got to start putting them together. So I like the whole camaraderie of everything from special team, defense, and offense starting to come together and click. And the more we do that, the more trust they gain with each other. And hopefully they'll get to where they need to be.
How much, you talk about that, the camaraderie and kind of building in all these phases at this point in the season, how important is the first month of the year to kind of build those things up where you look at it and say, okay, not everything's perfect right now, but it's a huge month to kind of set the tone for the rest of the year?
Well, it's still, you know, kind of trying stuff and see what works, right? So it's going to take some time. You're going to put a game plan together. Hopefully it works. If it do, it do. If it don't, we try to figure something else out. But it's very critical because you can't lose often early, you know, because later in the season it can come back and hunt you.
Right.
Because you don't want to get to a point in the season where you have to win eight in a row, 9 in a row because you dropped 4 in the first half of the season. So however you can win now, it would be better for you in the end, and plus you get a chance, your team get a chance to continue to grow and implement things that you like and get rid of some of the stuff that you don't like. So it's very critical for us to continue to win.
So that's interesting because it feels like a lot of the talk around here over the last few days has been about the offense still struggling a little bit. How do you think Bill Belichick views that? Does that matter to him, or is it more just it's a results-oriented business? We got the win. Well,
you know, every win is a win. You know, it's going to go down in the win column as a win. Not how you won, it's how you win. And I think right now, you know, people is so used to our offense just being at the top of the game. You know, we running the gun and we scoring 30 points like it's nothing. But now it's to the point where you have to grind some of these games out. So you have to understand what works now. It probably didn't work 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's different now. So you have to kind of get used to and understand what type of team you have. And plus, offense have to help defense. Defense have to help offense, and special team have to help everybody. So it's one big team at the end of the day, because if offense struggle this day, maybe defense and special team can pick us up, or maybe defense struggling, offense have to score more points, or it's a game where, you know, a critical error, and it might be special teams that pick us up. So that's why football is the ultimate team sport, and you have to be clicking on all 3 phases.
You talked about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, obviously, that was Tom Brady who was here. Now you're looking at Mac Jones in his second year, so very early on in the developmental stage. I know Tom Brady was already in his 4th year in 2004, but from about 2004 to 2007, what do you remember about Tom Brady and how he developed as a quarterback? You know, was it more mental? Was it more physical? Did it have a lot to do with the weapons that were around him?
I think a lot of it had to do with all of those things. You know, Tom couldn't have been Tom without the people that he had playing with him. You understand? So, you know, with the weapons, without the weapons, I respect Tom so much because Tom didn't always have the big name receivers. and he got the job done. We got the job done. So it was a lot of times where Tom, offensive, they struggled, but defense, we bailed them out. And vice versa. It was time that defense struggled, Tom put up points. But it's everybody. It just wasn't Tom. It was everybody collectively going out and doing what they have to do. So with Mac, you're not going to stop. People need to stop and comparing him to Brady. He's not Brady. He's going to be a different type of player. Now, from everything I hear and see of him, he's a hard worker, right? The more he works and the more he plays, the better he would get. That's what we hoping, right? But with his mentality and with the teammates and with the coaches he have, they're not going to allow him not to get better. You know, if he don't get better, it's on him. But I doubt that's going to happen.
All right. Meanwhile, a totally different quarterback on the other side because Lamar Jackson can beat you in the air. He can rip off a 79-yard run, which we saw last week against Miami.
Yeah.
What's it like going up against a quarterback who's a dual threat like that, who can certainly beat you with his legs?
It's a defense nightmare, honestly. Like, I used to hate playing against quarterbacks that can run because now not only you have to deal with the running backs in the run game, but now you have to deal with a quarterback that have that option too. So it's like when you rush him, it's like I can't rush him here, I can't rush him there. I have to stay in my lanes. We have to spy him. So it's very difficult to defend a guy like this. But I know Bill, so Bill gonna have a nice plan to make sure that he don't get out of control. But it's hard to stop him. You can only maintain him, and hopefully he don't kill you down the road.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar certainly had that game against Miami. You know, he's playing a contract. So, all right, ready to get into the blitz?
Let's get it.
Let's get into the blitz. Okay, what are you most looking forward to about the festivities this week?
Probably just seeing all the fans and people that I touch live in football.
And what's it like just being back in the area?
I love it. I love Boston because Boston loves me. It's home.
Yeah, well, that's a great reason to it. Any surprises planned for the festivities?
No, just having a good time with my family and friends and everyone that supported me, including the fans.
Favorite on-field memory with the Patriots?
Going out and looking back to seeing my teammates and the feeling I had going on the field, what it meant going on the field with my comrade behind me.
Not the 2 Super Bowls, but just like enjoying that
every week, just walking out with my teammates, knowing that we basically planning to go to war, and these my brothers, so they got my back, I got their back.
That's awesome. I think a lot of people would also say, picking off Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, all that stuff, but my teammates was everything to me.
I love that. How about your favorite off-field memory with the Patriots?
Everything that we did around the holiday season for the community. Everything we gave away, turkeys, backpacks, Christmas. Being involved in the community was one of the best moments that I ever had off the field being a Patriot.
Okay, favorite restaurant in Boston, or at least the Boston area when you were a player?
My favorite restaurant is Luciano's down Route 1. That's my top, hands down, to my top restaurant.
All right, wings, did they come out okay last week? I know we're over the time.
Wings came out okay. I live to fight another day.
All right, awesome.